and I'm going to share my screen. Okay, Crystal.
Good evening and welcome everyone. I'm Crystal Gonzalez, DPAC Chair. Welcome to our November DPAC meeting. Um, Next slide, please. Here's the agenda. Welcome Family Support Coordinator Jenny Chang. Approval of October meeting minutes. Superintendent's report. Guest speaker Mike Hope. The game show experience. School spending plan for Title I. Set aside funding in our upcoming meetings, and we'll open the floor for questions after. Meeting norms. Start and end on time. One voice when speaking. This is a safe space to speak. 1, 2, 3, and then me. If you spoke already, allow 3 people to speak before you speak again. Respect all, be present, be engaged, and involved. Approval of meeting minutes. I'll be reading October's minutes.
Yep. Gonna share my.
Hey, can you make it a little bigger, Jen?
Yep. Better?
No. Let me see if I can open it. Okay. October 25, 2025 meeting minutes. Date Wednesday, October 29th, 2025. Time 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Location virtual via Zoom. Recorder transcript prepared by Jenny Chang. Attendance 1 call to order and order and welcome chair. Quorum confirmed. 2 meeting norms. Presenter myself, Crystal Gonzalez. 3 approval of September 2025 meeting minutes. Presenter myself again, Crystal Gonzalez, September 30th, 2025. Motion approved. Second motion approved as well. Outcome approved, unanimous. 4 superintendent's report. Presenter Dr. Michael D'Antona. Key updates, parent survey participation, connection before content. Wellness, kindness, and community framework, data and academic progress. iReady baseline assessments, intervention programs, student SEL survey, peer mediation, upcoming workshops, enrollment timeline highlights, high school admissions, middle school admissions, kindergarten and G and T, 3K and pre-K. 5 DPAC secretary vacancy, facilitator Jenny Chang. 6 bylaw amendments vote, facilitator Jenny Chang. Proposed amendments, rationale, vote action. 7 iPlan portal, overview, presenter Jenny Chang. 8 open discussion, Q&A. 9 announcements and next steps. 10 adjournment of meeting. The meeting was adjourned to 6:30 p.m. Can we have an approval of the minutes?
I approve.
Second approval.
I approve.
Minutes approved. Now I would like to introduce our wonderful superintendent, Dr. D'Antona, to make his presentation.
Thanks so much, Crystal. Hi, everyone. Hope you guys are all doing well. Uma, can you mute that, please? Thank you. Okay, guys, how are you? Hope everyone's ready for that Thanksgiving space of hopefully a little bit of relaxation. If you are the ones that are doing the cooking, I'm sorry for you in advance. I know how much goes into that, how much that has to go into that. But I'm hoping in that process you're able to at least take a little bit of time for yourselves to enjoy, the fun and festivities that come with Thanksgiving. So, rooting for that for you in advance. So a couple of things that I want to talk to you guys about tonight are just related to our goals, as we always talk about. I'm going to glance over the enrollment dates because I've already shared them with you, but I'd like to keep reviewing them to make sure that everyone is fully on board with what they are and when they are happening. So I'll just go quickly through those um, so that we don't spend an abundance of time on things we've already discussed. So our district monthly newsletter, I do encourage all of our families. So when you do connect with your parents at your own school, encouraging them just to subscribe. We do send out our monthly newsletter, includes a bunch of things that are happening in our buildings and some updates from me, on a regular. So I encourage folks that have not subscribed to please do so. The link is there for you and is accessible as you need it on our district site. November is Native American Heritage Month. So big shout out to all of our Native American families. We don't have a huge population of Native American families in the district, but we do have some. So important that we recognize all of our community members when we can. So shout out to our Native American families in District 25. We recently, last week, had our third annual Thanks for Giving walk at Bound Park. We do thank Diana from our team, along with our teachers and district community members, for participating and engaging in that walk with one another, but also to share a little bit of goodwill by providing canned goods to a local food pantry. So we thank all of those that were able to participate, and we're hoping next year for our fourth annual one, it becomes a really, really big event and we get as many people there as possible, to do that little bit of sharing with our community members that do need some of those resources. Tonight we do have our first in our virtual math sessions. So we encourage all of our families to participate in that, and if something for you as well, our first in our series, important that you're up to date with all of the things that we're pushing for in mathematics. So Beth on our team really does a great job of connecting with our families, and I encourage you to do so. Last night we had our first in our special education workshop series that is recorded and available for all of our families on our district site. So I encourage you to remind folks, those that have that are unclear about the IEP and what is in it. It was a really great review from Nathan on our team to make sure that those that have a child that has an IEP and they have questions about what's in the IEP itself, that it's accessible to them and is recorded for anyone that wants to view it. And lastly, we do have our L workshop series, the first of which is in December. That one is coming up for any of our families of multilingual learners. So there are two sessions, one that is in Mandarin and the other one that is made available in Spanish for our community members. So we do encourage those that have children that need some of that additional language support to hear from it in a language that supports their needs, to participate in that. So really do encourage our families to connect. So that connection before content I mentioned to you is an important part of our work. So we're going to do another one for a brief couple of minutes. I hope you indulge me in this. It's a very light one, but I'm hoping that you are willing to participate. So typical fashion, we would find a partner if we were in person. Because of this, I'm going to be doing this in a very small breakout room for 4 minutes. And the question is a simple one, but I think fun. Would you rather eat breakfast for dinner or eat dinner for breakfast? If so, what would you choose to eat? And just have that kind of reason why when you go into that breakout room. Again, just 4 minutes to have a little bit of fun. Would you rather eat breakfast for dinner or eat dinner for breakfast? What would you choose to eat? I'm going to give just a moment of pause for you guys to think, and then I'm going to put you into breakout rooms just for a few moments to have a little bit of a conversation with one another. And again, it'll be a 4-minute breakout room. Maybe we'll just do 3 minutes just for interest of time. I know Jenny gave me a time limit before I hopped on, so we'll do it just for interest of time. 3 minutes, and I will open up the rooms and bring everyone back after that. So Lewis, what about you in terms of meal? I'm interested. Breakfast for
So,
dinner?
yeah, I think I I I often have breakfast for dinner, so I guess I'll go with that one. Breakfast is good any time of the day.
What's the go-to, Lewis?
Oh, bacon and eggs, the
There you
best.
go.
Bacon and eggs.
Lewis does very low carb kind of eating, so that's why I said I was
Yeah,
interested.
bacon and eggs.
I would have never
Yeah.
thought, but I said that to Lewis. I said to Mr. Dr. Mike that throw some bacon on it.
Oh yeah, bacon can go good with anything, absolutely. But yeah, but as far as breakfast, I like breakfast for dinner. I think it's easy too. It's fast.
All right, guys, welcome back. Thank you for entertaining that small little space of connecting. Anyone have a quick one they want to share out that came up in their group?
Actually, our group saying that has to do with my fasting schedule. That's what I usually do for. I will eat dinner for breakfast.
Yeah, it's the intermittent fasting type of scenario. You
Yeah,
mean?
because
Yeah.
usually 2 or 3 o'clock is my last meal till tomorrow, like 7 or 8.
Oh, good for you. I give you so much credit for doing that. That's awesome. Anyone else
Okay.
have an interesting one that came up real quick before we move? So real quick, I said for me, I don't always take the time to eat breakfast, which is not a good thing. Not being a very good example. But I would definitely go towards the eating breakfast for dinner in the space of either the scrambled eggs and toast, nice good piece of Italian bread that's toasted with butter. I'm all in, and that pancakes or a waffle, and I'd be very happy. Don't do it very often, but when it does happen, I'm very happy about that. Okay, guys. All right, so I'm going to share my screen again and run through a couple of more things that will be a little bit interactive that I want you to participate in, especially in regards to some of the things that we need to continue to progress in terms of reading. So just our enrollment reminders, as I mentioned, they are here. I'll just flash them up so that the recording can have it for you guys to revisit. But high school admissions timeline is there. Just know that releases will be on March 6th. Same thing for middle school. Closure is on December 12th. Releases on April 15th. Kindergarten begins to open within another couple of weeks and closes in January, and application and releases are in March. 3K pre-K windows open in January, and releases are in May 12th and 19th for 3K and pre-K. G&T grades 1 through 4, the window opens in April, closes in May, and then releases are in June. So all of the specific dates are here. We did review them already during our last session. They're accessible to you for future reference and to share with any of the folks in your respective schools. So during our last session, I talked about our district data a little bit. I do want to share a couple of things in terms of updates and where we're going with our work. So these are our goals for priority 1 with all students learn to read well. During our last session, I did share the current state of where we are. It's similar to past baseline data entries. Spaces of growth that we have seen, if you look at our English language learners in Acadians, 2 years ago, we had a 14% of our multilingual learners in K-2 that started the year off at baseline. Now we're at 31% of those children that are at baseline to begin the year, which is a positive trend, an important trend for us that we want to continue to capitalize on. Similarly, for our students with IEPs, from 26% to 35% to start off the year in terms of baseline assessment data. Tons more that we have to do there, but needless to say, we're in a positive trajectory. For iReady, not necessarily the same type of progress chain from grades 3 to 8. It's about a 1% overall difference from year to year in terms of entry point for baseline. Now, what does this mean for us for our work? And this is a part that I want to emphasize with all of you when we're talking about reading with our kids. So for our multilingual learners, activating prior knowledge really super important, as well as building contextualized vocabulary development. Now, why? And I'm going to ask you all just for a moment to read, and I'm going to go into slideshow mode so you don't see the bottom of this. I want you to read this particular piece of text here and tell me what it is. And Angela, you saw this already, so right? I think Angela, you might have seen this already, me present this already. So this won't be new to you, but it will be new to folks that are that are viewing this for the first time. So take a moment and read this short little paragraph. Okay, I'm going to come off of share, and what I'm going to ask you to do is tell me what this paragraph was about. Okay, I'm going to come off share. Can anyone tell me what that paragraph was about?
Cooking.
Say that again.
Cooking.
Cooking. All right, I like that. Anyone else have an idea of what this particular paragraph was about? Okay, Robin, I saw you come off mute.
Um, the woman was trying to use the cement mixer, trying to figure out how to use it.
Love
There's
it.
a lot
So
of
we,
content-specific vocabulary in there. Was I correct?
yep.
Okay.
So we have cooking. We have use of cement mixer. Two options so far. Anyone want to throw out one more potential example of what this could be?
I want to say it's about can't even talk. Conquering her fear, because at the end she's like, you know, I got this. Basically, her confidence level rose up and she was determined.
So conquering fears could be around making use of a cement mixer or cooking, right? All as examples of what it could be. Now, was the paragraph in and of itself difficult for us to read? If we just looked at the words weren't necessarily overly complex. They were not something that would necessarily be inaccessible for our kids as readers to see every word. But can they comprehend what's present there? And that becomes the big question. Are we able to comprehend the text that's present there, absent some other information that's really, really important? You know, and that other information is, what are we talking about when we're thinking about these vocabulary words? Do we know what each of these words mean? So if I was then to show you from that, and these are just some key questions, like on a scale of 1 to 3, how comfortable are you explaining what Betsy was doing, right? Stumped, every word is familiar and the reading level is basic, so what's the problem, is the basic question. But what if I was to show you this? That as it turns out, Betsy's a surfer. Terms like backdoor, lip, and even cement mixer have special meanings in terms of surfing. Now, if we don't have the prior knowledge about this surfing lexicon, do we have any idea that this is about surfing? Unless you knew about surfing and you were a surfer, would we know that each of these terms is associated with someone who, if you were part of the surfing community, you would be able to tell me everything about that. But because we're not in the surfing community, at least unless some of you, one of you is and you just didn't say it, we would need information in order to support this. So this is hugely important for all of our readers when we're thinking about building our understanding and comprehension of a text. For some of our kids, they may experience lots of things that look like that to them because they don't have the background knowledge to support their understanding of the text that's in front of them. So inside of our schools, what we're asking our buildings to do and think about is helping our kids build that language so that when they are experiencing text, perhaps for the first time, that they have entry point and understanding of what's being read. So we do that through language development inside of our classrooms, building vocabulary, and also creating time and space for our kids to learn a little bit about the concept before they enter the text. This is hugely important for our multilingual learners, as well as any of our academic English learners, which is everyone, by the way. We are all academic English learners. Every single one of us every day can pick up new terms and new language, much like you just did just now. Learning that a cement mixer has something to do in the surfing lexicon around surfing. Learning about a grinder is a powerful wave in the surfing community. You know, you learn a little bit about different context when we see it from different lenses, right? The words there weren't hard. For the most part, the words weren't hard, but because it was contextualized in a way we've never seen, it makes it harder for us to comprehend. So I share this with you because it's important for you to see the things that our kids might hold them up, that even for us as parents at home, we might also need to give them a little bit of an explanation as to what is on that page and what it means for them to have context and to build that comprehension. So something I just felt it was important for you to see as parents. Okay. Also, our students with IEPs really hugely important. So specially designed instruction is something that is, things that we're working on at the district level, to our schools, to our kids. And that's making sure that we're providing multiple ways of entry, whether it's visual, written, or oral, breaking apart, big things into small, manageable chunks. So things are more attainable and accessible for our kids that need it. And something that we're going to be building on throughout the year through PL. Just want to make sure that you guys are aware of that so that you can ask those questions if parents are asking. These are some key components to supporting students with IEPs that are part of specially designed instruction that we'll see for children that do have some learning gaps that need to be filled. So again, something just for you to be aware of. This I mentioned during last time. I'm not going to spend too much more time on our SEL work, but I do want to make mention of the fact that we have initiated, and now all of our schools in middle school have received training in peer mediation. I had an opportunity to sit in on the training that our peer mediators went through, and I have to tell you, the kids in these groups were phenomenal. They really showed how they were able to listen. They were put in like scenario-based spaces where if this was going on in a school with other groups of children, how do you manage it? And how do you bring kids back to a space of conflict resolution rather than a scenario of being escalated? They help their peers kind of come to a space of resolution rather than kind of escalating. And I have to tell you, listening in on them, they would be able to solve any problem that I have because they were calm, they were listeners, and they were able to provide really, really great next steps for what would be a scenario in their own school. So I'm really looking forward to this. And what I do intend to do is bring them, provided you're okay with it, Crystal, bring them to some of these meetings to share with you what they've learned, how it's something that they can then bring out to you to share how they can solve conflicts. I think us as adults sometimes we can benefit from our kids too, sharing a little bit about what they've learned to support it moving forward. But provided you're okay with it, I would be happy to bring them here to share a little bit from their perspectives around how they can bring that learning to their schools, and then more importantly to us. Hearing what they have to say to me is very valuable. So if you're okay with it, I'd love to bring them for future meetings. Awesome. Okay. In math, sense making, you can see a trajectory here in mathematics that is a positive one from dating back to 22, 23 to where we are now. We are starting to see more and more kids start the year off at levels of above and on grade level, comparatively speaking to past years. We still have lots of work to do there. We want to get as many kids on grade level in math as possible. Last year, we had around 70% of our kids. We do want to continue to elevate that over time. The areas that we are focused on, just so that you know as parents, while you'll see here things like geometry is a struggle, we tend to wind up elevating that over the course of time. The more important spaces for us are number sense and operations and algebra. So areas of need typically are around fractions, around ratios and proportions, around equations and expressions. Those are typically spaces where some of our kids tend to struggle, and our math curriculum is supporting that throughout the year. But it's just important for you guys to know that those are things that our kids tend to have a little bit of difficulty with. Once you get into that abstract space of fractions, visually, some kids they need to be able to see those spaces. Other kids have a little bit of a harder time. You say a half, and for some children, they can't even slice that part into two pieces to know that it's now half of it. That spatial space of it, shouldn't have said it like that. The spatial part of that work becomes a little bit difficult at times for kids. So it's something that we are working on in our teamwork with our math teachers during professional development. So part of that is you'll see the do the math protocol. Our teachers are breaking apart the standards to really see where are those spaces of need that we have, so that the entry points, particularly for our students of within our multilingual learners, our IEP learners, our Black learners, and our Hispanic learners, the entry point for them is not the same as our other groups overall as learners. So it's a specific focus that we're having in and across our schools to make sure that we're attending to the needs of our kids. And the Do the Math protocol helps with that, so that we're really drilling down into what is the exact math that our kids should be able to leave with, and how do we get them there, is a big part of those protocols, which I am excited to continue to grow throughout the year. Okay. I'm going the wrong direction. This Project Soapbox, also, if you're willing, love to have some of our our student soapbox speeches to be presented to you. Some of our kids do an amazing job of not only writing a speech, but making it something where it's very personal to them. And I think that's the exciting part about it. And, our kids become very vulnerable about experiences in their own families. We have a speech that was just written by one of our kids talking about how drug abuse in their family really wound up having a tremendous impact. And they're advocating for more awareness around what we can do to make sure that those that are struggling, here's what you can do. And I think that's such a powerful thing to come from either an elementary schooler or a middle schooler. And that's really what we want. So when we see there's something that's a need, how do we continue to invest time as kids, and then make it a community-based approach? Here's something we want to do as a community to raise awareness about a topic that is important to a kid. And their voices have so much weight, and I don't think that they always fully realize how much weight a child's voice has in making change. So that's something we want to continue to invest in, and I'd love for them to come. It might make your meetings a little bit longer, but I trust me when I say that it will make them that much more valuable for you to hear the things that our kids want, and that our kids value. The Safer College, I'm really excited to say that Jenny has been doing a lot of work here with one of our CEC members. They're visiting school communities to raise awareness around the Safer College program. We'll have an update in terms of percentage change as the year goes on, but I'm pretty confident with the outreach that's happening there, we will see a positive outcome. So Jenny can talk a little bit more about that, for herself, but it's the big part of that is presenting to our schools around the Safer College work and how it can help support, adding money to a savings account for a child. So really excited about that, and thank Jenny and Stephanie for doing that work in collaboration. So it's another CEC district collaboration there that I'm excited about. Parent engagement work. This is something you'll be hearing more about from me too. We had about 1,100 responses to our survey. The part that I think is really important, of those 1,100, 700 plus parents indicated the want for more parenting support and more SEL training. So our wing from our team, our social worker, is sending up a follow-up email to every parent that gave us their email address and or phone number, so that we can gather from them what specifically they're looking for. And then we're going to have organizations do some district-wide presentations in those areas that'll be open to everyone, but specifically those families that have indicated a need. I find that to be very important for us, that, nearly 70% of families are indicating that they want more support in that, either in spaces of parenting or in support of social emotional learning. So because of that, we're going to be offering some of those additional supports. And the questions that I had, particularly for our PTA, which also exists here because you guys are very much connected to the PTAs at schools, is what do we think about that in terms of need from our community, that there's this request for additional parenting support or SEL type of support. And that really brings us to the end of my presentation for tonight. Are there any thoughts about that? Does it make you think or wonder anything about the types of needs that some of our parents are expressing?
And Dr. Barker, I just wanted to add that follow-up email is going out tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did it give you guys any thoughts, any wonderings?
I wonder if this is due to social media and all the time that students are spending in the digital world, if that's causing the need for this type of support from parents.
Yeah, I think that's an awesome one, Robin. You know, when we get back to secondary email, we'll share more, just so that you guys can see what that output from that request is. And certainly, I think, you know, I have a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old, always worried about, you know, what kids are doing on the other side of it. And, you know, part of that, and my 16-year-old constantly says to me, Dad, do I really have to run all of these things by you because I get alerts on my phones? I don't know if you do. So if she's looking or seeking a different app, she has to get permission from me. So if she requests it, it comes right to me for approval. And she's like, Dad, I'm 16. Do I really still have to do that? And I said, yes. Until I'm ready to say no, the answer to that is yes. You still have to give me back. You still have to make your requests. But yeah, I think that's a really important one that very well likely will come up. Any other thoughts?
I'm having thoughts on just um, like some conversations that I have with parents. Uh, for the SEL part, it's not just for them with their children, but for them, their own, sanity.
Yeah,
They're having a lot of anxieties about the things that are going on in the world. They're having anxieties about how they're going to feed their kids, how they're going to provide shelter for their families with, all of the things that are happening in the world. They need guidance. They need help. They're having physical health issues because of all of the stresses that they're dealing with. So I think these are big parts. These play a big part in why they're asking for certain resources. And
yeah,
what you saying the SEO part with them coming, wanting to come, I think that's a great idea for them to come and let us
yeah.
know what they have to offer.
I agree, Crystal. I think that you know, times are, you know, are certainly difficult, right? And it comes
Hmm.
out in different ways, whether it's, you know, about my need as a parent to support my kids, or my need
Hmm.
as a parent to support me, you know,
Hmm.
because I'm struggling with X, Y, or Z. I love that. Yeah, really important point too. Angela?
I think a lot of it is also a fallout from the pandemic, parents and children.
Yeah, I think that there's still some semblance of folks that are struggling with, you know, with a range of things that may be associated with that too. Yeah. So, needless to say, during our next meeting in December, we'll have more clarity around, one, the majority of our parents are seeking, but also that we've then organized a series. So you will have, you know, a series of sessions that can be shared with your own communities, um, based on said needs. And the only thing I would ask when that time comes is that you help in sharing it widely. You know, we'll send it from our Gamma system, and I know you get things from me through the district office, but sometimes it's better when it comes from folks in your own school that they say, oh, you know what, this would be a really great thing. Why don't we join together? You know, hopefully more people will take advantage of these types of resources. So I encourage that. And the last thing I'm going to do is put into the chat, which I would love your feedback on, is part of our CEC district pilot is around this notion of wellness, kindness, and community. During our last session, we sent out examples of projects that can happen in our schools. It's not the end all be all, there could always be other ones. But when we're thinking about community, what are the community-based things that we can do? So when I go to schools, I see toy drive, I see food drive, I see all of this where folks are only required to send in a can of food and they've done their job. But how different can that look when kids and families come together and say, we're going to do these kindness kits, and we're going to identify an organization to one, develop them, but then send them out as a community that we're doing together. And that togetherness to me is a really, really important part of our work. And I know that it's hard to do these things all the time, but I think if we land on one, that we say as a community that we want to be able to do and establish, and maybe it's one that we agree on that for every single school in the district, here's what we can do to give back or to promote this space of promoting well-being. It could be something around that too, Crystal, as you mentioned. There's no space where we can't touch when it comes to this, but I encourage everyone to use that, click on that link, see some of the examples that are within there. And is there one we want to say as a community we want to latch onto to build across all of our schools? So it's not an answer me now kind of thing, but I would love before the year is done for us to come to an agreement between DPAC, our President's Council, and CEC to say, you know what, here's one we would love to just try to do together, and say, here's what we were able to accomplish as a district community. You know, some of them there are very simple. You know, they're very, very simple things, but if we were to do, it could have a profound impact on our district community when it comes to that space of kindness, when it comes to that space of promoting wellness. And when we do it together, that's what coming together as a community is about. So I encourage you to look at them, think about it, and then give me some feedback. Okay, but other than that, guys, that concludes my presentation for today. I know we probably went over the 20 minutes that Jenny asked of me, but I can't help it. I'm sorry, Jenny.
Thank you, Dr. Mike.
Have a good
Always
day.
a pleasure.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks, Dr. Mike.
You got it.
Okay. Thank you. I'd like to now introduce our guest speaker, Mike Hope from the Game Show Experience, who's a DOE vendor, and he has great programs that he can offer our Title I schools. Mr. Mike?
Yes, hi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing today?
Hello.
Happy Tuesday. You feeling good? Big break coming up, Thanksgiving, good stuff. So I'm just not going to take up too much of your time. I just want to tell you about something that we put together as a way of introduction. My name is Mike from the Game Show Experience, and we put together something called the Funtastic Game Show. It's a game show just for schools and kids. So can the teachers play? Yes. Can the parents play? Yes, they can, but I'll tell you all about it. So first of all, game shows are the #1 shows in America. Why? Because it's so much fun. So is this just fun? No, it's educational too. So I would love to tell you all about it, but it's easier to show you. So I'm going to I'll share my slide, take a look at it, and I'll explain as we go along. Can everybody see it?
Yes.
Fantastic. So again, it's called the Funtastic Game Show. Can we do it in a gym? Yes, we can. Can we do it in an auditorium? Yes, we can. Can we do it in the cafeteria? Yes, we can. Pretty much everywhere we go. So again, it's educational based, but we've put in a lot of fun game show-like elements. We usually kick it off with a fun video game where everybody participates. So it's like a giant Wii where everybody plays. So the biggest thing is I've done game shows before. I've seen game shows. I actually tried out for the Nickelodeon game show when they came to town. And what I was disappointed is that not everybody got to play. In our shows, everyone plays. You'll see an example, whereas we're going to pick some volunteers to come up to the stage for stage games, as well as games that people play right from the audience. So, and as far as education, yes, we can customize it to focus on whatever you want to focus on. So say you're having a big section on reading, we can ask reading things, seeing they're actually reading at that moment. Can we do math? Yes, we could do math questions. We went to junior high schools, we did a whole civics week questions. So this question section is called the Fast Five Showdown. So we're going to have 4 volunteers come up to the stage. We're going to ask them questions again. We can customize it. It could be great. And of course, if the friends on the stage do not happen to know the answers, we could throw it out to the audience. Sometimes we have kids versus kids, students versus students. We have the students versus the teachers. And we've actually done parent nights where the parents come and compete alongside their kids. It's a lot of fun and a lot of energy. So it's things that they should know. And if they don't know it, you know what? It can be educational based, something they're going to learn today. So the typical show we like to do, especially for elementary schools, we like to separate the different grades. Can we put all the grades together at the same time? Sure. But again, when they're on the stage, we're going to do it by groups. We're going to have 1st and 2nd grade together, 3rd and 4th, and 5th grade. Some schools have multiple shows in one day because sometimes it's hard to have the kindergartners in the same space as the fifth graders. It's really hard to please both audiences, so we separate them by doing multiple shows in one day. The typical show is about an hour, or again, we can go according to your schedule. If you want to do it for 2 periods, 2.5 periods, we work around your schedule. Another big video game that we do is called it's called the Super Combo. People love it. It's kind of crazy in that you have to find a partner. So again, it's a physical component also, but there's no tug of war, there's no jumping, there's no running around, so nobody can possibly get hurt. So in this one, we put up different scenarios and everybody has to act out the different scenarios. Whether it's a greeting like you see right now, it's high five, low five. Sometimes it's acting like an animal. It might be even a dance move. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of energy. There is music involved. Yes, we have music-based questions. So yes, there is a soundtrack and there is spontaneous dancing and singing. We did a show the other day and I made the big mistake of playing K-pop Demon Hunter. The singing would not stop. So it was a lot of fun. It was great, but I will not make that mistake again because it kind of took over for a whole big 5 minutes because that song, something's up with that song. I think it's possessed. People just sing it way too much. So we alternate between the Fast Five showdowns and different games. Like coming up next is you'll see something Minute to Win It, which is, believe it or not, shows about 15 years old, but they have newer versions now. These are fun physical challenges. So again, there's no water balloon toss, there's no messes, there's no tug of war. It's just fun physical challenges that anyone can do. So we found that alternating between the educational part and the fun part, which is they're both kind of fun, makes it very exciting for the kids, and they go back and forth. And again, we do encourage the teachers that didn't get involved. So what happens is we usually separate the auditorium into different segments, 4 different teams or 2 different teams, depending on how many kids you have or students you have. And then we have them compete against each other. So we don't do prizes because I believe you can just have fun without getting a prize. It's just about fun and bragging rights. So it's called the Funtastic Game Show. It's exciting. It's for schools. If anybody has any questions, please let me know.
How do we get in touch with you?
Jenny's going to put my information in the chat right now.
Okay.
It's on the slide. I'll show you. It's on the slide. We'll get back to the slide in a bit.
I can
So is
vouch
the-
for this because I work in at PS 173 in District 26, and Mike comes to our school year after year, and the students and the faculty all love it. I think our PTA hires you, right?
Yes, I
Yeah,
was
I
just
saw
speaking with
that
Oz.
online.
You guys are set up for January, I think 15th or 14th.
Yep, we're looking forward to it. It's so much fun.
Awesome.
Can I just like ask how many years have you done this?
This is my 8th year doing it on our own. I work with another company. I work with Nickelodeon. I work with the Game Show Network, but this is my first 8th year doing the game show just for kids.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So if anybody has any other questions, fantastic. If not, my information is in the chat. My name is Mike from the Game Show Experience and hope to talk to everybody soon.
Thank you, Mike.
All right,
Appreciate
friends, have a
it.
great day and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy holidays.
Thanks.
Happy
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Thanks, guys.
It looks fun though.
And yes, you can play too. No problem. I find that the teachers are more and the administrations are more competitive than the kids sometimes. Especially during the Fast Five showdown. Okay, who sailed the ocean blue in 1492? And if the kids don't know it, the teachers are calling out. I'm like, come on, give the kid a second to answer the question. All right, friends, I got to run. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Mike.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let me pull up his information. So it's on a slide and everyone has access to the slide, okay? Here's Mike's website, his phone number. So please give him a call if you have, would like to invite him back to your school for any events.
This isn't something that we could use our set aside funding for, though, right?
He did mention that he's a school vendor. He did also mention that he can customize the questions so they
Mhm.
fit, the CEP goals, the
CP
math,
goals.
the reading, SEL. We invited him to attend our parent coordinator meeting so they can meet him, and he actually invited them up to play a game, and then all the questions were based on U.S. history, So it was very, very fun, and the parent coordinator became very competitive too. Um, So
So we could
everyone,
have him like customize a game show for parents only because we're not supposed to have students at these events, right?
Title I money should be spent on students and families, right? So I
Mhm.
believe he can customize, so he can fit everyone. But if you are a large school, I'm not sure how it can be done. Maybe it has to be done over several days or several, hours. So I'm not sure. That's something we can think about. Yeah. We have to
Okay.
find out how much he charged and how much money we have in the budget.
So I'm still fairly new to this. So my question, I guess, now is the set aside funding, the events that we hold using that 1% set aside funding.
Mm,
I don't know why I was under the impression that that was for parents only and that students were not supposed to attend those.
no, it's for everyone.
Oh,
It should be open
okay.
for everyone. We should
Okay.
include everyone, families and
Mhm.
students and families.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for the clarification. My bad.
But we will go into it in a bit. We do have a vacancy. We have a DPAC secretary vacancy. If anyone is interested, please let us know. It's Crystal, Jamie, and me. You can always reach out to us if you would like to join us on the DPAC. And this is the roles, the duties, the responsibilities of the DPAC secretary: prepare meeting notice, agendas, sign-in sheets, record the minutes, and all at all meetings. Anyone? Before we go to the 1% set aside fund, just like to reiterate what Title I is. So at the school level, schools are required to establish a PAC of parents who are the voice of the Title I parents. You get to, attend these meetings to get ideas on how to spend that 1% set aside. You also need to follow the rules, of course, because we do follow federal law. So everything that we do have must be aligned with the federal law. You are asked to hold monthly meetings to discuss the Title I and the funding and what the money will be used for. And so, and have parents vote if you have multiple ideas. And at the district meeting, at the district level, we have a DPAC, which is Crystal and Jamie. They also attend monthly meetings at the citywide. So they attend meetings with NYC public school leaders and liaison at the central level. Jamie and Crystal serve as a extra layer of support in case you guys have any questions. You can always reach out to either Crystal, me, myself, or Jamie for support. We are here to support you. And our monthly decks, these meeting decks, are also available for you to use, and if you want to use them during your Title I meetings. School spending plan for the 1% set aside fund. So this is a sample how it looks like. The deadline for this to be completed is coming up. It's December 16. There's a Title I has a protocol and timeline that we need to follow. And this is due on December 16th. So we are trying to invite as many vendors to come in as possible so you guys can all get introduced to them, what they do, their programs, their offering, and then, have them come in when they, have them come in when it comes to that 1% set aside fund, because you will need to spend that money, right? Otherwise, we will lose it. So please find out by have a conversation with your principal to see how much fund they have allocated for you. And then the carry over from last year may also be used on this samples. We can see they have they've allocated 7,100, and that's a rollover of 155. And then list some of the ideas that you have. Find out how much they charge per session or per presentation, add the cost together, and then find out the materials cost as well. This is just a sample. There's a draft, that's a template for you to use. That one can be downloaded on the iPlan portal. I don't know if everyone have access to the iPlan portal. If not, I downloaded the template and I have it on our meeting documentation. So you can find all the resources under our meeting documentations.
So this is to be filled out by the PAC members and then give it to the
Yes.
principal for approval
Yes,
or any
yes.
media or?
This is for Title I chair to fill out. Of course, you will have during your meetings, you will have to discuss, those activities or your plan on how to spend that money. You can have the parents vote on it to be fair, right? Parents should be voting on how to spend that money but you are the voice of it. List some of the activities that you find will benefit your students, your schools, and then have them vote on it. And then on page 2, you will have the principal and your Title I chairperson date it and sign it. And this must be uploaded to the iPlan portal by December 16.
And you said that if it's not uploaded, the funding will be gone.
No, it will not be gone. It will not be gone. We will
Okay.
make sure we will reach out. We want schools to spend this money.
Oh,
So we
okay.
will make, yeah. The next 2 slides are what we are allowed to and what we are not allowed to spend that 1% set aside fund. So please have a look. These are there's a list of appropriate Title I expenditures and activities that you can spend, how you can spend that money. And on page 2, I don't know if you want to screenshot it and have it on your phone, or you can just go into this slide after this meeting. Everything that we present tonight is accessible to you. On the second page is what you are not allowed to use that money for. So please take a look. These are our Title I schools. We during our last meeting with Central, with CityPAC, we were told that our quorum, all schools across the city can lower the quorums to 5. So if your bylaw says 8 or 12 and you have hard time meeting the quorum, you can just lower it to 5 without being voted on. That came from Central. And we had Central clarify it via email, so we have it in writing. So if anyone have, issues having meeting quorum for your Title I meetings, you can lower the quorums to 5. Again, we have created a list of our DOE vendors that Title I schools have worked with to support you and your job. I added the game show experience, Mike Hope, and last year's we have Tobobo, we have Child Mind Institute come. Please feel free to give them a call and to see what they offer and the prices. I see someone raising the hand. Arati?
Yeah, hi, Jenny. I
Hi.
wanted to ask, last year we had submitted a couple of proposals for the Title I PAC funds, and they were rejected, even though they were similar to other things that we've done in the past. So have regulations changed? Is it becoming more strict in terms of what is approved and what not?
Okay.
We had things that we thought were educational value. For example, we were going to, one proposal was to bring in a cultural company to do a cultural workshop for families, and that was not approved.
Okay. Did they explain the reason why they couldn't approve it?
I guess it was not considered aligned with, it wasn't family engaging enough, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I do understand that it has to align with the CEP goals, and I thought we did that. So
Okay, so it might be a good idea to have a few other proposals as a backup in case
yeah.
one of them get rejected.
Where are those decisions made? Are they made at your office or is it somewhere else?
It's not us.
Okay.
It's not us. Yeah. We upload everything to the iPlan portal. Someone at the district level or the central level will be looking at those
I see.
items. Yeah. And
Okay.
if something doesn't look right, they will communicate that with the superintendent.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Let me pull up my slide again. So again, everyone have access to this deck, and then these are the vendors that our schools have worked with before. So they should be vetted and good to go. But I'm not sure if they are, some of them still exist. So please give them a call if you would like to, find out more about this program. Next month. So hold on. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. So today, this week we have someone reaching out about a program about SEL that someone would like to come and do a program, present about SEL. So I mentioned about inviting that person to our DPAC meetings. She is also a DOE vendor, but the next meeting we're gonna have will be in January. That means the spending plan, will already be completed and done and uploaded to the iPlan portal. But since our Title I PACs are 2 years terms, I'm gonna keep inviting them, right? So we have some ideas for the next year. The next DPAC meeting will be in January. December is a busy month and all the holidays coming up. So we're going to be having 2 meetings in January. The first one will be January the 6th, 2026. So we will be seeing each other in the new year. The next CEC meeting takes place in person here at Lyndon's Place, and their meeting will be coming out on December 3rd. If you guys would like to listen in, there's a hybrid link you can click on D25's website. And then the next President's Council meeting. I know on this call we have you are both the PAPTA and you are the Title I PAC. You guys are doing a lot and you guys have a lot on your plate. So thank goodness we have, thank you for your time and we are very appreciative of everyone being here. But the next President's Council meeting takes place on December 15th. This is also where you would come and get the information and the most up to date. And some parents might ask some questions about, the candy sales, and this is where we share our update. And President's Council will also be attending meetings at the city level and bring back the information and turnkey to us. So please come to our President's Council meetings as well. If you are a part of the PAPTA, if not, you're still welcome to attend. Okay. Does anyone have any questions?
Jenny, there was a question in the chat. When is the deadline to submit the proposals again? Isn't it December 16th?
December 16th. I will download the protocol and the timeline and also add it to our, under our meeting document so you will have access to it. I understand not everyone have access to the iPlan portal, but this is where I found all the resources. They are good at, sharing resources at iPlan portal, under resources. And by the way, the bylaws, if you haven't updated your bylaws, please update it because the most up-to-date bylaws must also be uploaded into the iPlan portal by December 16th, same date. Bylaws, again, need to be reviewed annually and updated every 3 years. And please keep in mind, if your quorum is 12, 8, and you barely meet this, number on your monthly meetings, you can change that to 5 without voting needed. But please make sure you bring it up to your Title I parents, make them aware of the changes.
Sorry, Jenny. You said you downloaded it the information from the iPlan to the D25 website under meeting documents?
I will share that. I will show you.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. And okay, so our D25's website, right? I'm gonna go D25. And then you will go under public meetings and district parent advisory. That's us, DPAC. Share documents. I'm gonna make sure I go into the right year. And these are our monthly meetings. Today is 11/25. And we have already uploaded most of the resources. You have the DPAC bylaws that we voted on last month. We have the presentation that I'm doing right now with Crystal and Jamie. We have the minutes. You have the Title I, the template to draft your Title I spending plan, and you have Dr. Mike's slide as well. If you would like to see how iPlan portal looks like, this is how it looks like. When I log into iPlan portal, this is what I see. Everything I presented so far are from resources. So I click on resources and I search. Right now, I'm going to search on timeline and protocol. Let's see what comes up. Protocol and timelines for implementation of required Title I parent. So I'm going to download it. Want to make sure I'll have the right one. Please scroll down. And this is what it says. School budget plan for use of one Title 1% for family and parent involvement set aside funding must be uploaded into iPlan portal by December 16th. And then Title I bylaws must also be uploaded to December 16th. So if you have those documentation updated and ready, just I would say the best point person for you is to hand it to your parent coordinator, and someone from the school will help you upload it. Let me download this. Sure. Save. And I'm gonna go into our meeting and I'm gonna drag it over so it's here, so everyone have access to it. Okay. Now, if you go into D25's website, you will have access to everything that you would need. Always reach out to me. If you can't find them, I will be happy to send them to you, either via text or via email. Anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jenny. I know you said we're not having a meeting in December. Because I had thought I put the meetings in my calendar and I got confused about today, which I'm glad Ria sent a message so I knew that we were supposed to have a meeting. So you said January we're having 2.
Yep. I
mean, technically the early January meeting is the December meeting.
Yes.
And then this January meeting will follow the regular schedule at the end of the month.
It was just really hard to find a date that,
with holiday.
Okay.
So today is the 25th. The next meeting would be January 6th and January 28th. So we try to keep them, far apart from each other so that we don't feel like we have 2 meetings right after each other.
Yeah, January 6th is the December meeting.
Gotcha. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
So on January 6th, we will invite someone, a DOE vendor, who will be presenting about her program, which is based on SEL. Even though, again, I know there's a deadline for everything, we might not be able to utilize her or invite her to come in, but at least we have her ready for next year if we feel like she's great. Anyone and any questions? Okay, Crystal?
Yeah, if there are no more questions, we're going to close the meeting now. And have a wonderful night, everyone.
Thank you. Have a great night, everyone, and happy
Thanksgiving.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy
We'll see you.
Thanksgiving, everyone.
We'll see
Hopefully
you in
everyone joins us.
2026.
Everyone joins us for math in
Oh.
Yes, at
45 minutes.
7:00, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be on another Zoom from 6
It's
o'clock.
my
Sorry, guys.
Well, we're recording it. It's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
See you guys later.
Have a
Bye.
wonderful
See you
night,
later.
everyone.
Bye. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks.
Good night, everyone.